So March 2009, I joined the military. Had no idea what I was doing, but knew that I wanted to get out of a small town and go to college. April 18th, 2011, I was walking back from the chow hall when my sergeant and I were hit by an RPG. Within 5 days, I was brought back to San Antonio, Texas, where I went through about 8 months of very hard therapy, 6 surgeries, and in that time, I got a dog named Carbon. And in November of 2011, I was diagnosed officially with PTSD. So in November, when I went to go get Carbon, it was me looking for a sense of security. I was really struggling with the PTSD. No one in my family had ever dealt with anything like this, and I was kind of alone. All my family was in California. So as much as they were, a call away, it was hard to really, I didn't have that much family support there. And it was really hard. So as I got Carbon and I started going through this process of understanding PTSD, I decided that I was gonna try to turn Carbon into an animal support dog to kind of help me with my PTSD and stuff. And as that didn't work out, I let the idea go. I thought I was fine. I told everyone that I'm fine. I've been going through therapy. But I realized, as I was telling my wife a couple weeks ago, that I realized I didn't actually go through the therapy. I told everyone I was fine because I put it off. People have really made a bad name for Christians because it's turned into this word that it's not supposed to be anymore. To me, being a Christian is just loving unconditionally. And I feel like we've gotten away from that. I very much so am a Christian. I call myself a realist Christian. I think that God approves of what I'm doing because of the fact that, we change our appearance by getting tattoos and putting on makeup. So me changing my body and making me feel more comfortable in the body that I've been given, I don't think God's upset about that. I think He likes the fact that I know myself in such a deep way that I can change who I am and still love Him. With that being said, don't ask God a favor that you're not ready for. Probably about a week ago or so, I was, in therapy. The way that I deal with things is my therapist and I have a campfire. And in this campfire, people or images come to me of things I need to work on. So I've dealt with this as far as being a lesbian, getting through past traumas. So I always show up to this fire. And when I was at this fire, I remember I was talking to God and I said, God, what do I need to work on? Like, I'm not seeing nothing. Like, I don't know. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to meditate on this fire, but nobody's popping up. And I walked away. And all I could hear God say was, just wait, child. And it came. One night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, my dog Carbon was going to lay down. And I thought, I need to tuck him in. Like, I don't do that enough. So I went to tuck him in. And as I went to tuck him in, I realized I love my dog at the minimum. Let me explain that. So I care for my dog. I take care of my dog. I give him treats. But I don't really love him. And I was like petting him and I was like, why is this? And I realized when I started to make Carbon into a emotional support animal, I put that trauma from the accident on carbon. And I ignored it and I let it go. And pretty soon this became more baggage than anything else. So my dog now was this burden to me, this baggage that I have collected, and I just have it. And as that night went on, I started to realize that it was because I had put all of my PTSD and thought that I was fine, and I had put it on carbon. And so no, I wasn't loving toward him, and I wasn't a good dad to him because I didn't even want to touch him, because anytime I touched him, it was like I had to get reminded of this accident that I really wasn't over, and I told myself that I was. A lot of times we put on different armor at different times in our life. When I joined the military, I put on this armor of a soldier. When I got injured, I put on this armor that I'm a wounded veteran. And now that I'm coming out as trans, I'm putting on this armor of trans. But in the same way that I put that PTSD on carbon, it's like I have a PTSD about being transgender. Up until about 2 weeks ago, I still convinced myself that I wasn't transgender. I'm even taking testosterone, and because there's so much shame around it, it's hard to try to come out and tell a society that even though I was born in the wrong body, I'm meant to be a man. And the thing that I learned the most is that it's not about being unstable mentally. It's about figuring out who you are mentally. Because in order to go against what society says, it takes a very strong fucking person. Because you are standing up against the world and telling them that you are not going to play this part that you are supposed to play in the society. I'm telling the world that, yeah, I may have been born a woman, but it's not who I am anymore. And I just feel like this new armor that I've put on is really now who I am for the rest of my life. And now that I've come out as trans, I met my soulmate. I get to call her my wife. And I have the best group of friends. I have family members here in Texas that I never thought I would have had. I now am in a place where I'm incredibly happy and everything's working out, because it's the fact that I'm finally being real with who I really am.